Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Go Bucks, go Bucks. First and goal, gotta tough it out. Get in the end zone and call a hot route. O-line to beat, right down the street. And have Humphreys run right underneath. You know it's Bucks ball, we got the hardest D. Bring the pressure to the QB. You know it's routine, we got hard greens. Welcome to Tampa, welcome to Turbo. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Reppin' for my team. Go Bucks, go Bucks. You know we want the ring. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Welcome to the Bay. Go Bucks, go Bucks. Tune in with Buccaneer Blade. Bucks back, we can run the toss. Mike Evans looking like Randy Moss. And Jameis making play after play. On the defense, you can't stop Levante. On my boy McCoy, who you can't avoid. At the Raymond James, you about to feel the pain. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. If you a Bucks fan, make a lot of noise. Go Bucks.
And we're live, video live. It feels so weird doing live video again after doing audio for so long. Let's give this thing a second to run before I start going. I want to make sure there's no interruptions. Alright, let's get rolling. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bucnblake Sports with your host, Mr. Buccaneer Blake himself. We're going to go over two games. The Bears and the Vikings national anthem and other stuff like that. But before I do, let me go with some people that support me. Tampa Bay Care Corps and Nuketown Recording for providing the song that you see at the beginning. I want to give a shout out to those who supported me with these Nuketown Recording and Tampa Bay Care Corps. Check them out. What up, Petey? So like I said, with the Bears, I didn't go. What's up, Petey? Check me out. I do this all the time. The Bears game, I didn't really get a chance to go into because of the whole, hurricane in Florida thing, and let's focus on that. I think that was more important at the time. So I'll just briefly go into that and then go over what happened this past Sunday. Like I said, Tuesdays are the days I try to get these videos and audios out, because Mondays are a little hectic for me and with scheduling, stuff like that. Let me know how the sound quality is. I bought myself a nice little mic now, a little professional mic, instead of doing what I was doing before. So it's a work in progress. The Bears game, a lot of people said I was being negative. I was like, I'm not being negative. I'm taking things at face value. And what I mean by when I'm taking things at face value with week 1 against the Bears, you played your old quarterback. He should have still been a backup on our team. They should have won week 1. I was pulling for them. But it was a victory that should have been like 50 points that we left on the field. We really didn't play too well against them. We just took advantage of a lot of misfortunes that they did. A lot of young players making bad mistakes, and that's just what it would be. That was just what we wanted to be. Oh, I didn't want to forget. There's one more supporter, Gypsy Panda Lashes. Gypsy Panda Lashes. Check her out, Nina Garcia. She does lashes, ladies. If you like lashes done, if you go on my Instagram page at Bucnblake Sports or Bucnblake on Twitter, you can find her there, and she can do your lashes. I will post that information on when I post this video. Didn't want to forget that, Miss Nina Garcia, if you're watching. Where was I at? We left. The margin of victory wasn't as it should have been. Granted, we almost got a shutout, but I put this team now. The people that know me, I look at things for what they are. Let's go on. Dominique, Miss Dixon, Kendall Stewart. I put things at face value for what they are, and you get older in life and you start seeing stuff like that, and you look at moments and situations and stuff like that. You always hope for the best, but you gotta look at the totality of things. So we're working up to this point with the quarterback. You're building, getting the right pieces. I still think we need some tweaks. It's hard to say right now because we're still working forward. Our offensive line didn't really get a whole lot of chance to mesh this preseason, which I thought would hurt us. You saw Ali Marpet make some bad snaps from switching from tackle to guard and then out center. In game situations, stuff like that is going to happen because he's inexperienced playing the center position. So we'll see how that goes. But like the Bears, like I said, we left a lot of points off the field, due to what we were suffering in the preseason, unable to put the ball in the end zone and not sustaining a run game. And that ultimately hurt us in the Vikings game. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Buccaneers only ran the ball 9 times. You only ran the ball 9 times in the entirety of the game. So what you did was turn yourself to one-dimensional team. So I know a lot of people, we got Deshaun Jackson, and people want Jackson to go deep and all the time. They think it's just that simple. You just go back and throw the ball deep. I mean, when you do that, you saw what happened. You throw it in triple coverage to Mike Evans. It's a tip ball and it's intercepted and stuff like that. 3 interceptions is not going to win a lot of games when you turn over the ball, especially in a situation in a game when you're trying to come back. But what's happening, and I'll show you some clips here while I'm talking of how the defenses are playing Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans, and they can still cover both because you're not running the ball. You're not running the ball effectively. And I said this before the season started. There's a couple of things that I said all off season, and people kept saying, "Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." Everything, it's not fine. I said, everybody wants to think the positive things about your team. You always think everything's going to turn out fine. And I say that all the time. Everybody just takes things for granted too much. And I saw these problems before they became problems. Number one, I was preaching the whole preseason was lack of pass rush. I said, look at your, and I'll even say the comments that people said to me, look at this is what you expect your pass rush to come from. Noah Spence, he got 5 sacks last season, 6 sacks last season. William Golston, who was a run stopper. Robert Ayers, he's 31, and he's never been a dominant pass rusher. He's great, brings great attitude to the team, but he's not a guy who's going to get you 10 sacks. The guy that should have be getting us 10 sacks is playing in Seattle right now. His name is called Michael Bennett. And had he been on this team, I'd be saying things differently. But that's water under the bridge now, courtesy to Greg Schiano. Gerald McCoy, your D-tag, I know everybody's expecting Gerald McCoy to put up all these sack numbers, but you're putting so much pressure on the defensive tackle when he has more linemen to get through than the defensive end. The defensive end has to beat one man. Gerald McCoy has to beat 2 or 3 guys sometimes because everybody else cannot pull their weight. And I've said this time and time again with Anthony and Andrew and my buddies that I tailgate with. You want to put so much pressure on Gerald McCoy, and then if you want to throw in J.J. Watt at one point had 7 first-round picks on the front 7 for the Houston Texans. At no point did J.J. Watt ever have to pull the weight by himself. Never at one point in his career he had to pull the weight by himself. He had 7 first-round picks on his defense, and that is why he can produce 22 sacks, because you're constantly getting individual matchups and winning individual matchups. This is why I keep trying to preach to that somebody at some point in time is going to have to lighten the load on Gerald McCoy. It's just this guy has never had a break ever since he's been on this team. And people keep trying to put more on him, and he's even putting it on himself and key downs. You're just not going to get it, Gerald, when you're not getting act right from everybody else, when you're not getting constant help from the other 3 guys that are pass rushing. Our sacks predominantly came from linebackers this preseason. I think Noah Spence got one in the preseason, and he got one on Glennon. but Glenn is a stick. He's not moving anywhere anyway. And the Bears, as I said before, that's not something to get all excited and hollering we're going to go to the Super Bowl if they're beating the Bears. I mean, people were really hollering at that game. Just like, slow down. There was a lot of things that we got away with in that game that you didn't see because the other team was just so poor and so bad. And the Minnesota Vikings have a way better defense, and it exposed us. It exposed what we were weak at, our lack of communication on the front line, the lack of communication between wide receivers and quarterbacks, and our really inexperienced how we can't run the ball. Not running the ball is killing us. I said, because the safeties have no reason to move down in the box. Let me explain you how this works. You have your two safeties. You guys play Madden. You should understand. You have two safeties up top. All right, so they can sit over top and help coverage up top. Mike Evans can go either or. So it depends on how you want to cover. You want to do under over or run man underneath and then send another guy over top just to help the coverage. It's however you want to do it. Hold on one second. Oh, now there we go. However you want to do it. And until you establish the run game, now what happens is the man it goes like this or goes like this or even goes like this. They go from up top to down here. Now they trying to help against the run or tight end coming underneath. They're trying to help get underneath and help coverages. And so now he can come from behind and come over top the single coverage, but it's not going to happen when a guy can sit over top the entire time because of your lack of run game. It's just not going to happen. And until we establish that run game, we got to suffer through one more week till we get Doug Martin back, and I don't even know at that point if our run game will even get back up to where it needs to be. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I hope for the best, but I look at things at face value. I'm a Buccaneer fan. Well, first and foremost, I'm an NFL fan. Then I'm a Buccaneer fan, and I look at things with face value of what they are. Do we have the? Hey, what's up, Anthony? I see all your music stuff you posted up. I gave sure let everybody know about Nuketown Recording. If you want to post some of your links and stuff in the bar here, by all means, go ahead and let people check you out. Tampa Bay artist. He's the guy, the rapper that's on the song at the beginning of my intros. He's a good friend of mine for a very long time since I moved to this area. It's Anthony Torres. What was that? I lost train of thought. You got to look at things as the totality of it and what they are. So we have to get back to what we're good at, running the ball and doing things like that, doing the little things right before we try to, go over top deep. And I know Jameis, wants to please the fans and have fun with his friends, but sometimes the ugly play is the best play. The short 5-yard passes turning into 7 yards and 10-yard runs, utilizing guys Adam Humphries and O.J. Howard. I don't think O.J. Howard has gotten plugged in too much because I think you're looking too much for Mike and Deshaun Jackson for the big plays and stuff like that. And you gotta work the ball around and take what's given to you. Like I said, the ugly play is always sometimes the best play. The one nobody wants to see, the 5-yard curls and stuff like that, because essentially, what's up, Vic? That's eventually those are your run plays, and you have to get it in some way. You can run you can run spread and force those underneath, and guys can fall forward and get extra yards. It's just so many ways of football to move the ball. It's not just one way. We're just going to throw it deep every play. If you're going to do that, you're going to throw a lot of interceptions. You're going to get it. You're going to go. Your third down percentages are going to look very. What's up, Vic? Your third down percentages are going to look ugly, just like it did in this game against a good defense. They're able to sit back there and tee off on you, sit back there and pass rush you, and cause terror and havoc on our offensive line and in the passing game, because you could only run the ball 9 times. I mean, if y'all don't believe me, you look at the stats of that game. We ran the ball 9 times in that game, and dropped back and threw the ball 40 times. And you just can't. It's just, you're not going to win a lot of games like that. And there you're forcing the ball and you're getting 3 turnovers. Granted, we still could have gotten that game, but like I said, when you're playing a good defense like that, you can't become one-dimensional. You cannot become one-dimensional. And I know a lot of people wanted the Bucks to take Dalvin Cook. It's just he just wasn't a first round player, and I really think he's too close to home. He's from Miami. I think it would have been detrimental to him with his friends, and unfortunately, our people make a lot of poor decisions based on friends and family, and they hurt more than they help sometimes. And I think the Bucks did make the right decision not pulling the trigger on Dalvin Cook right away in the first round. I think they were trying to trade up and get him in the second round. But unfortunately, it didn't work out the way. And that's just the draft. And I know for a fact that the other player was Kareem Hunt that we were looking at trying to get, but we were unable to get that as well. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Nobody would have thought Howard would have fell us to 19. He's a great run blocker, but you have to get him involved in the pass game. You have to get him. You have to work the ball up the field. You have to do the small things to work to get the bigger prize, and all the other stuff is going to open up because now the defenses have to change. And just take what's given to you, Winston. Take what's given to you. Don't listen to the naysayers. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just a guy on the internet talking about my team I love and the sport I love. And that's just me. But just take what's given to you. The national anthem, before I forget all about it. They're bringing politics now into football. Nobody really wants that. People go football on Sundays to get away from the politics and all that other stuff, and now it's involved, and you already know what's really what the president and his nonsense is all about. But he's the same guy he's always been. He's never changed. He's always going to be that way, and that's the one thing I did respect about the man, because he is who he is, and he's never going to change, and that's just what it is. You just have to deal with it now. But everybody's making stands, not coming out, for the games. I wonder if NBA is going to follow suit, then do the same, because with their season coming up, I think October 2nd or something like that. We'll see. Like I said, we got week 3 coming up. Playing, is it the Giants? Who we got? Yeah, it's the Giants game next week, and then the Patriots 4 days later, 2 home games. So I'm gonna be extremely busy this coming up week. I have some vacation days. I'm gonna be get these videos out and see how that looks. But I'm gonna end this as we always do, unless you guys got some comments and stuff you want to add. Vic, I know you're here. Whoever else is jumping in and out, but okay. People who's ever jumping in and out, thanks for coming on and watching me. I'm gonna post this on my page. I'm gonna post this in the stick carriers. I'm gonna make a special intro for us. Like I said, it's been hectic. The hurricane kind of threw me off with the week 1 and the season and all that stuff. So I'm about to get back into the swing of things and doing this. I got some newer recording stuff, so I'm excited to use it and get everything in full swing again. But we'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it, is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless, and I appreciate everything that you guys do and giving me advice and just being there. Thank you guys. God bless, and go Bucks.